All right, so today we're going to deep dive into something that's super important for us here.
Yeah,
Building a killer investor relations website.
it's so important.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. When you're a potential investor, right?
Right.
Like the first place you're going to go is to the company's website, right?
A digital storefront.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So if that website is a mess,
Oh, yeah.
what does that say about the company?
It's a bad sign, yeah, for sure.
Big red flag.
It is. And it's not even just about looks, you know?
Right, right.
It's about transparency. It's about trust.
Absolutely.
Investors, they need to be able to find the information they need, like, quickly and easily.
Right.
If they can't, that's just going to make them feel, uncertain about the company.
Uncertain and
Yeah.
maybe a little bit wary. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And I mean, that's what we were really trying to get at in our guide to building an IR website. That's a great guide. Yeah. So let's unpack some of the key points. The guide sort of starts with the foundation.
Right, like the must-have sections.
The must-haves, yeah.
Things like your company overview and your investor relations contacts.
It seems pretty straightforward, but you would be surprised how often those things get overlooked.
Oh, all the time. And the company overview, like, that's crucial.
It is, yeah.
It's your opportunity to tell the story of the company
Right.
in a way that's both concise and engaging.
Who are they? What do they do? What's their mission?
Exactly.
And within that overview, I think having, some kind of visually compelling, like corporate presentation or something like that can be really helpful.
Oh, yeah, for sure, bringing that narrative to life.
Totally, totally.
Yeah, and then, of course, you have the investor relations contacts.
Right. Front and center, yeah.
Front and center, like if someone lands on a website and they can't even find who to contact,
Yeah, what is going on here?
Yeah, exactly. That's a red flag for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
So then we also suggest adding, a comprehensive, a robust FAQ section there.
Oh, yeah, I love a good FAQ.
Because you're proactively addressing those common investor questions,
Right. It shows you're committed to clear communication.
Exactly.
And that builds trust.
Yeah, for sure. So next up, let's talk about the numbers.
Oh, yeah. Gotta love the numbers.
Gotta love the numbers.
That's where the fun begins.
Exactly. So the guy talks about, the quarterly earnings and
Yeah.
the annual reports sections.
Yeah.
And I know financials. They can make some people's eyes glaze over.
Understandable. Yeah.
But this is where, it really gets interesting, gets fun.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I find fascinating is how those two types of reports, they kind of work together, right?
Yeah.
So the quarterly earnings, those give you that snapshot, right?
Yeah, like recent performance,
How are they doing right now?
Exactly. Are they making money? Are they losing money? What's the deal?
But then the annual reports,
Right.
those give you that bigger picture, right?
It's a long-term view.
The long-term
Yeah.
strategy, the overall health of the company.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I think what's important, and the guide kind of stresses this, is that it's not just about taking all those numbers,
No.
and just throwing them on a page.
Just dumping data. Yeah, no one wants that.
No. It's about presenting that data clearly.
It's about telling a story with those numbers, making them easy to understand.
Totally. So think like tables, graphs, comparisons, anything that just helps investors
Yeah.
quickly sort of digest that information.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's not even just about presenting those numbers, it's about providing context.
Oh, 100%.
If there are any significant variances or fluctuations, explain them.
Yeah, like don't just throw the numbers out there and be like, okay, figure it out.
Right.
Help investors understand the story behind the data.
That's what builds confidence.
Yeah, that's what builds confidence. Exactly.
Okay, so now let's zoom in on that stock information section.
Oh, yeah, the nitty-gritty details.
Yeah, so this is where you get, the current stock price, market cap, PE ratio, historical trends.
Of all that good stuff.
All that good stuff. And, this section really helps investors understand
Yeah.
how's the company performing in the market.
Right. How are they stacking up against the competition?
Exactly. And, seeing how that stock has behaved over time,
Mm-hmm.
that can give investors, a sense of its volatility, its
Right.
potential for growth.
Exactly.
And, for investors who are really focused on that income,
Mm-hmm.
we can't forget about that dividend history section.
Oh, so important.
Right, because this shows, the track record of those dividend payments.
Yeah, like how often are they paying dividends? Or those dividends growing?
Exactly. Are they consistent?
Yeah.
And what I think is interesting here is how that dividend history can send a really strong signal to investors.
Oh.
Right. So, if you're paying consistent dividends, ideally with some growth
Right.
that suggests, financial stability, a commitment to returning value
Mm-hmm.
to shareholders.
It's a good look. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But on the other hand, if you're dropping or omitting dividends,
Yeah.
that can raise some concern.
Red flags. Yeah.
So companies need to be really transparent about that approach.
Yeah. Communicate. Communicate. Communicate.
Exactly. All right. So far we've covered a lot of that quantitative stuff, right?
Yeah. The numbers.
But the guide also really stresses the importance of sections like corporate governance and sustainability and corporate responsibility.
Absolutely.
Because this is where companies can really showcase their commitment to those ethical practices and, creating that long-term value.
Yeah. It's not just about profits anymore.
Not just about profits.
Investors care about how companies are being managed, their environmental impact, their social responsibility.
Totally. They want to see the bigger picture. So the board of directors section, that's a great place to start.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Because highlighting that expertise, the diversity of those board members, that demonstrates strong leadership.
It does, yeah.
And, a well-rounded perspective guiding that company.
Yeah, it shows that they're thinking about all stakeholders, not just the bottom line.
Exactly. And then you have the governance policy section. This is where companies can lay it all out.
Yeah, transparency is key here.
All their policies on, risk management,
Yeah.
The code of conduct.
Shareholder rights, all that good stuff.
Shareholder rights. Yeah, transparency is key here because investors want to see that there are clear policies in place
Right.
and a real commitment to upholding them.
It's about walking the walk, not just talking the talk.
Totally. And speaking of transparency, the guide also highlights the growing importance of that sustainability and corporate responsibility section.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Huge.
It's not enough anymore to just say, oh, we're sustainable.
Right, investors want to see action.
Yeah, they want to see those concrete actions, that measurable impact. So this is where you can showcase all your initiatives.
Yeah, like what are you doing to reduce your carbon footprint? Are you sourcing your materials ethically? Are you supporting your local community?
Exactly. It's about demonstrating that you're truly committed to making a positive impact, not just talking about profits.
Right. It's about aligning your actions with your values.
Absolutely. And that kind of transparency, that can really resonate with investors.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Especially investors who are, looking for companies that align with their own values.
Values-based investing is huge right now.
Yeah, it is. Totally.
Investors want to put their money where their mouth is.
For sure.
They want to support companies that are doing good in the world.
That are making a difference.
Exactly.
And that's what this section is all about, showing them how you're doing that.
And it's not just checking those boxes,
Yeah.
Investors they're smart, they're savvy.
Yeah, they are.
They can tell if a company is just,
Just saying the right
just
thing.
saying the right things. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
It needs to be authentic.
Authenticity is key.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So moving on, let's talk about keeping investors engaged and up to date
Okay. Yeah.
with the events and presentation section.
Yeah, this is a good one.
So this is all about providing those opportunities for direct interaction
Right.
and access to that key information.
And making sure that information is easy to find.
It's easy to find. Yeah. So, you have like upcoming investor events,
Right, like your earnings calls. Yeah.
investor conferences.
Yes, conferences, all that.
And those events, those give investors that chance to hear directly from the company's leadership, ask questions directly.
Could get those insights.
Exactly. And then we can't forget about the archive presentations, right?
Oh, the archives are so important.
Yeah, because we're providing easy access to past materials.
Right, so even if someone missed a live event, they can still catch up.
They can still get that information.
Exactly.
It's about, making that information available to everyone.
Transparency, accessibility, all that good stuff.
All that good stuff. So think like recordings, transcripts, slide decks, anything that just helps investors
Right.
get that more complete understanding of the company's, strategy and performance.
It's overall story.
Its overall story. Yeah, totally. All right, so now let's talk about something that has become, I think, essential in today's world.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
Integration with social media.
Gotta be on social media.
Got to be on social media,
Yeah.
right? So, these platforms, Twitter, LinkedIn,
Yeah, huge.
they're just incredibly powerful tools
They are.
for sharing those real-time updates.
And for engaging with investors in a much more dynamic way.
Totally, right.
Yeah.
So, we recommend embedding, social media feeds right on that IR website.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Or at least providing clear links, right?
Make it easy to find.
Make it easy to find. So, it's all about creating that more interactive experience.
Right.
Investors can see what the company's talking
It's
about.
the latest news.
They can even participate in conversation.
Build that sense of community.
Totally. It keeps the company top of mind.
It does, yeah, and it's where people are spending their time anyway, right?
Exactly. Exactly. All right. We are in the home stretch.
Okay, almost there.
So let's wrap up with a couple of crucial sections.
Okay.
Shareholder resources and accessibility and user experience.
I love it. All right, let's do it.
So that shareholder resources section, this is all about just providing that practical information,
Right, the need to know stuff.
the stuff shareholders actually need, right?
Exactly.
So this includes things like, frequently asked questions,
Oh, yeah, FAQs are so helpful.
which can address those common queries really efficiently.
Saves everyone time.
Saves everyone time, yeah. And then easy access to key documents like those proxy statements.
Oh, yeah, those are important.
So just for those who may not know, proxy statements, they contain that really important information about,
Right.
upcoming votes on those corporate matters. And so by making those easy to find, easy to understand,
Right.
you're really empowering those shareholders to actually participate in those decisions.
Yeah, exactly. Give them a voice.
Give them a voice, exactly. And then finally, we can't overstate the importance of this.
This is a big one.
Accessibility and user experience.
Oh, yeah, this is huge.
Because you know what? Even if you have the best content in the world,
Doesn't matter.
if investors can't find it, if they can't access it easily,
It's useless.
it's useless.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's why mobile responsiveness is non-negotiable these days.
Non-negotiable.
You got to have it.
Everyone's on their phones.
Everyone's on their phones, they're on their tablets,
Their laptops, you got to be able to access the site from anywhere.
anywhere. Yeah, and then the
Where?
site also needs to be intuitively navigated, right?
Yes.
100%.
Well organized, clear menus, logical structure,
Make it easy to find what you're looking for.
easy to find what you're looking for because nobody wants to waste time clicking around a confusing website.
Frustrating user experience, it'll just send investors running.
Usually they'll just go somewhere else.
Yeah, they'll bounce right off that site.
So it really is, it all comes back to that idea, right?
Yeah,
The IR website as the digital storefront.
that's it, yeah.
It needs to be inviting, it needs to be informative, easy to navigate.
You want investors to walk in and
Well,
feel
see-
like, okay, I know where everything is.
It's a well-lit space.
Yeah, they'll, I-
Organized.
without any hassle.
And just like, a physical storefront,
Mhm.
you want to create an experience that reflects your brand, your values.
Oh, that's such a good point. Yeah,
right.
it's not just about the information itself.
Right.
It's about how you present it.
How you present it,
It's
exactly.
the design, the tone, the content.
Mm-hmm.
All of that contributes to how investors perceive the company.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to encourage everyone listening to really think about their IR website
Yeah.
with fresh eyes.
Put yourself in the investor's shoes.
Yeah, if you were an investor visiting for the first time, what would your first impression be?
Yeah. What's that gut reaction?
Right. Do you feel welcomed? Do you feel informed?
Do you feel inspired?
Or do you feel lost,
Yeah.
confused, maybe a little bit skeptical?
That first impression is so powerful. It really sets the tone
It does, yeah, for that whole relationship.
for the entire investor relations.
And that's why it's so important,
Right.
to make sure that that website's doing everything it can
right.
to create the right impression.
It's a powerful tool. It really is.
It is.
And we encourage companies to really think about how they can use it effectively
Right.
to tell their story in a way that's compelling and transparent.
Because at the end of the day, a killer IR website.
It's not about, just checking those boxes or following those best practices.
It's about making that connection,
It's about building those relationships.
building trust with investors,
It's about telling your story in a
Yeah.
way that resonates,
and inspires confidence.
that ultimately drives investment.
And that's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about. All right, so thanks for joining us on this deep dive into building a killer IR website.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We hope you found this episode valuable
We hope it's given you some food for thought.
and that you're feeling inspired
Yeah.
to take your IR website to that next level.
To the next level, absolutely.
Until next time.